Many of us have heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And every time someone said that to me, I swear, a part of me rolled its eyes. Great, so if I don't personally know Elon Musk by next Thursday, I'm doomed? The Oxford Dictionary defines networking as the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information or develop social or professional contacts. For a long time, that quote made me feel like networking was something that I was already behind on. It made me feel like success was reserved for those born with confidence, connections, and a perfectly curated contact list. But I realized something important. Networking isn't actually about adults in suits trading business cards. Networking is simply connecting, and the crossroads between fear and curiosity, between staying silent and reaching out, might be the place where your entire life changes. I run a podcast called The Lost Art of Storytelling within Salins, where I interview entrepreneurs and renowned figures from the Bay Area, and they share their life stories. Each episode delves deeply into the journeys of these individuals, and we explore their challenges, triumphs, and lessons that they've learned along the way. I created a podcast because everyone has a story, but not everyone is given the space to tell it. At first, that sounded simple, but in reality, it meant reaching out to people who had no reason to respond to me. I wasn't a journalist, I wasn't backed by a big platform, I didn't have thousands of followers or a verified checkmark. I was just a small middle schooler with an idea, a microphone, and a lot of self-doubt. But my life changed because of one moment, one decision, one crossroads. There's someone who I want to interview on the show, someone incredibly accomplished, the kind of person I assumed would never respond to me. He's the founder and CEO of Sugar Bowl Bakery, Andrew Lee. I wanted to interview him because he had a very inspiring story. Having escaped the Vietnam War on a small fishing boat, eventually made his way to the United States and created an $100 million company from nothing. So, I typed out a message asking if he'd be willing to come on the podcast, and I stared at him, and stared, and stared. You know that moment where you reread the message you just wrote 5 times and suddenly convince yourself you're delusional for even thinking about hitting send? Yeah, that was me. But then I realized something. This moment was a crossroads. I could either stay silent and never know what could have happened, or I could take the risk and reach out. So, I sent a message. And to my surprise, he responded. And he said yes. The interview went incredibly well, and he shared insights I never would have learned otherwise. It wasn't awkward or forced, it was genuine, and we connected. After that episode came out, something shifted. Other guests became easier to reach, and people started taking the podcast more seriously. New opportunities opened up, not because I suddenly became more important or more talented overnight, but because I had taken that small step towards connection. That moment taught me that the distance between where you are and where you want to be is often just one conversation away. It's not about asking, what can this person do for me? It's about asking, how can I learn from this person? And how can we grow from this interaction together? For our generation especially, this matters. We're more connected than ever through social media. We know how to like posts, but we don't always know how to start conversations. We know how to follow people, but not always know how to approach them. And the truth is, all of us have moments like this waiting for us. A question we haven't asked, a message we haven't sent, or a conversation we've been putting off because we were too afraid of being ignored or rejected. Looking back, that message wasn't just about my podcast. It was about standing at a crossroads and deciding to move forward despite not knowing what would happen next. And here's what I've learned. Silence guarantees nothing changes. Reaching out, at the very least, gives you a chance. The worst outcome is no response, and the best outcome can change your entire direction. So, when people say it's not what you know, it's who you know, I don't think they're wrong. I just think they're incomplete. Because who you know isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you build, one connection at a time, by choosing courage over comfort in the moments that matter most. Thank you.